According to a report from the horror site Bloody Disgusting, the upcoming Paramount Pictures continuation of the Ring franchise, currently titled Rings, is actually going to be a prequel to The Ring and The Ring 2, set years before the events of the first film. The Ring and The Ring 2 are remakes of the Japanese RINGU series by director Hideo Nakata, which had 4 films. Dennis, do you buy or sell a Ring prequel film?
I'm going to sell this as well. I actually like the first Ring movie, the remake for America. I'm not a huge horror fan, but it kind of played more into what I like about horror, which is more psychological, more creepy versus blood and guts and all that stuff. But I never watched the second one, and I had no interest in seeing a prequel. So for me, it's a sell.
I am going to, surprisingly enough, just by a margin, I'm going to buy this. I don't like prequels in general, but I think there's something you could do here that's pretty cool. You're right. The Ring is one of those examples that you can, when people say, no remake is ever good. Well, actually, The Ring was actually pretty good. Was it as good as Ringu? No. Was The Grudge as good as Guan or whatever the original pronunciation was? No, it wasn't. But I think there's something here that you can work with. I think there's something here that you can do is good. And I hope every time they're remaking a Japanese horror movie, the reason I kind of prefer Japanese horror movies and most Asian horror films in general is that they seem to have this understanding that the scariest thing you can possibly do on film is the things you don't see. They understand that the scariest things about films are the atmosphere you create. In North America, we seem to have a different approach. We create horror with the axe slicing through the throat and all that kind of stuff, and which is fun and great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. But there's something about those Japanese horror movies, man. Every time they remake one, I think, please bring a little bit more of that into the North American stage. That would be awesome. So for me, just by a little bit, I'm going to give it a buy.
I'm going to sell it. I agree with Dennis that the first one the remake was really good, and it is absolutely the same things you like about horror movies when they're done right is the reason I like them too. They get good actors, and they focus on the psychological element of it, and that's what I enjoy. But then the second one was a cash grab. Now, to me, this one could be doing the same thing, just playing off of the name and the success because they don't know how to do it. And like, well, I don't know if a Ring 3 will work, so why don't we do a prequel? But like you said, John, they could wind up doing exactly what they did right for the elements of the remake and knock it out of the park and say, well, that's everything I liked about the first one. Well done. So it's not a huge sell, but it's a sell by hearing about it.
Now, remember, the last film in Nakata's series, I believe, was a prequel too. I think it was called Ring Zero. And I think that was a prequel as well. So now they haven't said they're remaking that prequel. It might be a completely original thing, but it'll be curious to see how this works out.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.